All right, so let's start now with format of the assembly instruction that we have seen in terms of machine instructions. So basically, how machine instruction will look like. Okay, because assembly instructions are coded in terms of machine instructions. So it's not just very simple coding. It's some activity happens in between. And next three lectures will work on this. Okay, all right. So let me go to this mode. All right. So far we have covered all this, right? We started with basic concepts of these five assembly language instructions. We have gone through all this, and then we have seen function calls. We have seen use of stack, and we have seen how recursive functions can be implemented. And then we have started floating point operations. Okay, and then now we'll look at machine instructions. Now, okay, so I will request you one thing, that please look at floating point instruction set for RISC-V. Okay, and one of the assignments where some students were telling that there'll be overflow for factorial number. There won't be overflow if you use floating point numbers. All right. So try using floating point numbers using Venus simulator. The Venus simulator supports certain number of floating point operations, not all, but most of the basic operations it will support. So please go through it and try. And if you're not successful, please let me know. Okay, so let's look at instruction format. So note that this point we have discussed several times, that inside a computer in memory or registers is only zeros and ones, and we need to interpret it the way we want. Okay. Uh, so now we may have this kind of instruction: add x0, x11, x0. Sorry, add x10, x11, x0. Okay. Now if you give this to hardware to execute, it's meaningless. The hardware can only interpret zeros and ones. So this has to be converted into something that's meaningful to underneath hardware. Okay, this mnemonics, or this textual form that you see, is only for the convenience of programmer or compiler. Okay, so if you want to write RISC assembly instructions program, then it's very simple for you to write, using add, subtract, load, store, and all that. Okay, because with add, what exactly is the operation. Had it, if you see machine instruction, in code machine instruction is very hard, because it's nothing but all combinations of zeros and ones, right? Combinations of zeros and ones. Okay, so RISC is designed beautifully. Now, as an exercise, you should also look at instruction set of Intel and see, how much time you require to do coding in Intel assembly instruction. So even to understand it will require few days or few weeks, I guess. Okay, so all instructions are of fixed size 32 bits, that we have already discussed, right? Unlike Intel, where different instructions are of different sizes. So we were here so far. Okay, we have looked at assembly language program, and whatever we have not covered in the class, please cover it by yourself. Okay, read it by yourself. Okay, now this is to be converted into machine instruction which underneath hardware can understand. So we are now here. And what machine instruction, what this number, for example, this instruction will be converted into sequence of zeros, one that are shown here, second one will be converted here, and so on. Okay, so now if you are given only this kind of combination to code, note that is extremely hard, and chances of errors are also there. So you code in assembly and give it to assembler, and assembler converts them into this kind of binary. Okay, and then of course there's a microarchitecture or hardware architecture, and that will execute this. This is what we are going to do next, once we complete machine instruction design, maybe after 2 weeks. Okay, All right. Role of assembler, I'm sure you know by now that it will get number of assembly language programs and assemble that and create a machine instructions. So this is a machine program, machine language instruction program. And then these, there a program may be calling some other program, and all these need to be linked together, right? All the libraries that you use in C, etc., at the linked at this stage. And then this a dot out. Of course, we have not shown here, something called loader. Okay, if you load the program into a memory, and then some instructions that are based on specific memory location, it needs to change that. Okay, and the library gets attached here at the linker. So multiple programs gets assembled into machine instruction. At the same time, library is always available in machine instruction format. It gets linked to this one, and there is a one file called a.out. Okay, all right. So we have seen number of instructions. Now let's look at how these can be represented, right? All right. So basically we have 32 bits available. And then we'll have designed it in such a way, intelligent way, that it is very regular, because regularity leads you to fast execution. Decoding is faster, execution is faster, right? So complexity is less. Okay. So we have choice, right? And we are using load store architecture. Okay, it means that instructions can be there which are for loading an instruction, loading something data to memory, or getting the data from memory, or it could be register to register, right? So we will have to take care of all this. Okay, all right. And then when we split this into number of fields, then we'll have design in such a way that overall there is a simplicity and uniformity. When we say uniformity, for example, we are using opcode, then opcode field should come in all instruction almost exactly at the same place. Then all then decoding becomes simpler. And similarly, when we have register RD, destination register, all the instructions that are using destination register RD should come at some place, and so on, right? Once that is done, then it is very simple. Suppose hardware has to read the value of RD, then does not have to really look at what instruction is there and where it will be RD field. It knows that between certain bit ranges, you get RD value. Okay, all right. And each field, so these are different fields that, okay, could be more. Okay, each field tells processor something about the instruction. All right. So now when you are designing as a designer or architect, you will have to really see that how to do it intelligently, such that overall processor is fast and simple, and instruction has to be, number of instruction has to be minimal. In RISC philosophy, we number of instructions are minimal, such that decoding is faster and execution is faster. Any complex task is split into multiple simple tasks. Okay, so we have just only 6 type of instruction formats in RISC-V. This is called R format, register format, I format, S format, U format, SB format, or we call it B format also, only B format, and UJ format, which we also call as J format. Okay, so these are different instruction types. Again, we have done all of this. Okay, but we are kind of repeating it because we are now looking at the structure of these instructions. Okay. So we have R type of format, which is nothing but register to register. Okay, both operands are in the register. Okay, like all add, XOR, multiply, both operands are available in register, and then we keep the result somewhere. Okay, that we'll see. Okay. Okay, so basically result will also go to a register. Okay, we'll see all of these instructions that are supported by IR format. And then we have I format, which we have already seen, where one field, some, if you want, in that we use constant value, such that instruction becomes simple. So we want to load to a register as constant, then we can do it by I kind of instruction, where one field gives constant value. Like add immediately, even load word will have a constant, because offset is a constant here. So I format will have add I, load word, JALR, SLLI. Okay. Then we have load, and then we have S format, which is store. Okay, which is SW and SB. Note that it does not have LW, because position of registers are different in the two. Okay, in one of the two we are using RD, and in other one we are not using RD. Okay, load instruction we are using, we are bringing it from memory, and then we have to use, put it in register. So there is destination register, so we'll use RD. Okay, while in case of store, destination is not register but memory, so we are not going to use RD. We are, so the location of these, what registers we are going to use will be different in load, LW and SW. And so we have S format, then we have branch format, like format for BEQ and BJE. Okay, we use kind of PC relative addressing here. And then we have upper immediate. You have to, if you have to have constant of 32 bits, then you can't do it using ADI. Then you have to load 20 bits as a constant, and then remaining 12 bit as a ADI, that we have seen as an example. So we have two instructions, LUI and AUIPC. We'll look at both of these again. And then we have jump format, which is unconditional jump. Okay, like we have jump and link, etc. Okay, all right, any question? हेलो
नो सर।
समझ में आ रहा है सबको?
Yes, sir.
यस सर।
Okay, all right,
Yes, sir.
thank you. All right, so these are the 5 instructions, sorry, 6 type of instructions formats, instruction formats, right? Look at the similarity that one has. Okay, opcode field is between bit 0 and bit 6. Basically 7 bits we are using for opcode field. Okay, then what we see is that if there is a function 3 field, okay, essentially the 3 bits, they are here. Similarly, if there is a 7 bits as part of function, then they are here, and also okay, it's only here. Okay, only in register type. So what you can interpret out of this, right? And then you see that RD destination thing, anything related to destination is here in this field, right? So RD is here, RS1 in almost all register excepting for these two kind of instruction is in this place, and then RS2 is here, and this one. Okay, now you can see, and why we have designed in that way. See, note that opcode plus func fields gives you what is to be done. Why we have done it in this way? Why can't we club together? If you club together, then there may not be uniformity, because RD field has to start from, if has to start from here. For example, there is opcode is just 7 bits here, and then RD starts next to that. Then if the RD in this case, had we kept it somewhere else, in case of our type of instruction, had we had complete this as opcode field, or then RD would have shifted somewhere else, right? So you see that we are the architects have designed it so beautifully that there is a lot of similarity. And when we do microarchitecture design, we look at what bits to really interpret to know what are the next things to do. That simplifies everything. We can directly take from PC some bits and then directly interpret it. Okay, so we'll see that later. So first is of course our type of format, and we have seen that, right? It's a register format. Okay, so overall, we have opcode field here, which is 7 bits, then RD field, which is destination register 5 bits, then func3, there's 3 bits for function, which along with opcode and func3 field, we interpret what is there. Of course, F7 is also there. These 3 fields together, we interpret what is the instruction all about. And we'll see uniformity among them, right? Among various instruction of R type. And then RS1 and RS2 are of 5 bits. Okay, this makes 32 bits overall. All right. Okay, all right. All right. So this is the format. So all opcode of R type, okay, in R format instructions, all opcodes in all instructions that we have, like add or whatever, the opcode is this one, which is 0110011. And we'll see what are these. Okay, if opcode is same, then obviously we'll have to interpret using either func3 field or func7 field or some of these, right? So function 7 and function 3, this makes 10 bits. Combined with opcode, these describe operations to perform that we have already discussed. So how many instructions we can encode? Now combination of these 3, opcode, func3 and function 7 put together, you look at number of bits here, 7 plus 3 plus 7, so that makes 17. So okay, so number of instructions that we can create using is 2 raised power 17, which is just too much. We don't need so many. So now, choice is left to us how to design it beautifully, because number of instruction overall in RISC-V is very limited, right? Okay, all right. So although we have a choice, but we have to design in such a way that it becomes simple and easy to manipulate. Okay, this thing we have answered. Why can't opcode and function 7 field can be combined and make 17 bits? Because it creates other problems, right? Because other instruction may not become very uniform or very similar to our type of instruction. Any question? Okay. So this is the format: 7 bits for opcode. RS1 is source register 1. RS2 is source register 2. Second register, right? RS2 register source second. Okay, RD is destination register. Okay, this RD field. Okay, all right. So 5 bits essentially we can refer to any of the registers between X0 and X31. So all register fields will have 5 bits. Okay, these 3. Okay, all right. So now let's look at add. Very simple instruction: add X5, X6, X7. Okay, so how this will be coded? So now according to this one, opcode will come here. So opcode is 0x33. Okay, and then this is RD, destination. Now what is RD here? Destination register is this one. So number 5 will come here. X5, X is coded as 5. Okay, what is source register 1? Source register 1 is the one here. It will come here. So if you go back, then you can see source register 1 is here. Next is source register 2. Source register 2 will come. Oh, sorry. This one will come here. Okay, and what are the field left out? These fields, right? Okay, which are func3 and function 7, which are 0 and also 0. So 33 0 0 33 will give us add the instruction. Okay, all right. Okay, so this is what it is. So now we can code this. This is 33, this is 5, this is 0, this is 6, this is 7, and this is 0. And then essentially now you have to, if you want to represent this as an hex, then you can see the hex value is 0073 02B3. So this is the machine instruction corresponding to this one. All right, any question? Of course, note that at hardware level even hex etc is not interpreted by it. This is zeros and ones. So basically this is a machine instruction, I must correct it, and this is a hex representation of that. Okay, so something, this will go into the memory. If this instruction is there in assembly language program, and memory where we are storing instruction, this will go as this instruction, right? That is this one. Okay, so here are the examples which you can go by yourself. Okay, if you have instruction like add s2 s3 s4, right, then this s etc have to be converted into corresponding x's, x register numbers, and then these register numbers whatever is here will be coded, like rd is 18 x18, so 18 will come here, rs2 is 19, oh, rs1 is 19, then it will come here, rs2 is 20, it will come here. Okay, all right. Similarly for sub, and then this finally have to be converted into, of course we have, what we have shown here is decimal number, right? Has to be converted into, these are the nothing but field values, these are converted into binaries. So this instruction add s2 s3 s4 will convert into this one, and this instruction will convert into the one here. Okay, all right. And other instructions are sll, xor, etc. So we can see corresponding values here. Okay, okay, okay. Excepting for one here, I will get back to you. What does this represent? But there's no I field here, so I didn't notice it earlier. So let's see why SARAI T1 T2 29, because in our type of instruction we don't have. So essentially we'll have to bring the value into some register. If you have to, so this we have to, we'll see why okay. All right. So these are all, just a minute. These are all our format instruction. We have add, subtract, SLL. Okay, SLT. What is SLT? Anyone? Did we discuss this?
No, sir.
So SLT is set if less than. Okay, so if you have SLT, say register RD, RS, whatever, say maybe S1, S2, for example, S1, S2, S3. If S1 is less than S2, the set 1 in this one, which is S3. So S3 becomes 1. If it is not equal to or greater than, this becomes 0. This is set 1. Okay. Then we have XOR, SRL, SRA, OR, and so these all we have studied. Okay? Shift right logical, shift right arithmetic, OR and AND. And then shift left logical and shift the set less than unsigned. If S1, here we in the first one we are assuming it to be signed numbers. If these are unsigned, then we use this one. Okay. All right. Any question? Now, can you see beauty here? The beauty is that all these instructions have same opcode. If that is so, then how do you differentiate between add and subtract and SLL? Then you have to look at these fields, right? Now look at again, add and subtract are the same instruction actually. In 2's complement form, I mean it's become subtract, right? So you see that these two instructions will have same opcode here, or func3 field. Okay. Now it means that now we need to find out using this one what is difference between add and subtract, right? So only here we can see one bit different. Okay, so moment we see that these are instruction of R type instruction, okay, when we are decoding it, then we know what are different fields are and where to get the values, right? Okay, so hardware implementation becomes very simple. All right, to summarize, instructions can be designed in multiple ways. Okay, sometimes there are legacy constraints. Okay, in case of Intel, for example, because something that is compiled and object code available 20 years back must run today because our customers will not like it. Customers have paid money, and then if and then when companies sell the software, they never tell you that it will run only for a certain number of years. In between, technology changes, hardware technology changes, right? Now, in order to exploit hardware advancements, then new instructions are added, but old ones have to run. Okay, hence backward compatibility is required. Now, if you're designing new instruction set for Intel, you have to take into account the old instruction because they must execute. Then you can't say that my instructions will be only of say 4 bytes. Earlier instruction could be of 2 bytes. New instruction are of 4 bytes. Then both will exist. Okay, and then there can be different application types. Okay, for example, in embedded system, you may not need even 32-bit. Very simple embedded application, IoT systems, right? Then you can have 16-bit instruction, which is more than enough, or even 8-bit instruction set. Okay, but in general, we can say simple and uniform instruction set helps in many ways, and we have discussed this several times before. So RISC-V instructions are simple, regular, complete, and elegant. They are uniform, easy to understand, easy to implement. Okay. So right now, up till now, we have only studied R type of instructions. Okay. All right. That's all for R type of instruction. How tired you are? Shall we stop or shall we continue for 1 more hour? I don't like this slot because this is extremely tiring for you guys. I am fine because I have not done anything else apart from preparing these lectures. Okay. Anyone? Are you fine with another hour or it's okay to close now?
Sir.
Tired?
So it will be better
Maybe
if we
not
stop
today,
for
sir.
now.
Sir, we
Shall we
can.
stop then?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Now we have. All right. Let me just stop recording first. Just a minute. Wow. Where is it gone?